What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey guys, it's Monday, so you know what day that is? It's Broadhead Day. And up by popular demand, the Magnus Stinger. So, one thing about this broadhead is I could not get it in anything but the 125 grain or the 150 grain. So I went and got the 125s. Everybody knows from watching my videos in the past, if you've caught any of those, I shoot 100 grain broadhead. So I'm going to shoot these a couple of times actually before we do the 50-yard video, just to make sure I know where I need to be shooting at to give you an accurate assessment of them. So anyways, yeah, these Magnus broadheads. I haven't even opened the package, so let's open them right now and let's talk about them. All right, so the first thing about them I'm gonna talk about before we even check them out, right? The first thing about them is they have a lifetime warranty on them. So if you shoot through a deer, miss a deer, hit a rock, whatever, from what I have been told and what I've read in the reviews and stuff online, you can send them back. The company is extremely good about sending you a brand new pack of broadheads after you trash these, if you trash them. Straight out the package, they are insanely sharp. One thing I do like about them is that the main blade here, you can keep resharpening it. So that's a big deal whenever it comes to a single blade, or to a, it's not a single blade, to a fixed blade. So yeah, you can keep sharpening them. That's huge. It seems like it's a very well-built broadhead. It seems extremely tough. I'm excited to shoot them because everybody else has been talking about them, and everybody knows that this year, for whatever reason, everybody's going to that heavier broadhead fixed blade. So anyways, let's get to shooting, check them out.
I'm gonna watch you and see if you miss. I can tell you when you miss, okay? Yeah, you went through it. Right here, okay.
All right, so I usually don't inject until I'm done, but let me just tell you about this guy right here. So I had the target setting up right the first way. Hey, at 50 yards, it's the second shot you just seen with the bag turned sideways. It shoots about 4 inches lower than my field tip. Duly noted, it's 25 grains heavier. So, and they group amazing. I can't believe how well this broadhead shoots. For a fixed blade, like, it shoots identical, just like I said last week with those Montecs. It shoots just like my field tips, that shoot just like my Rages, that now shoot just like the G5s, and now shoot just like these Magnus Stingers. These dudes are nasty sharp. Jesus Christ. So I had the target set up at 50. I shot it sideways. It blew through it. Was a little surprised, not totally surprised. That kind of happens a lot of times with the fixed blades. We all know they get better penetration. It is what it is. It's a smaller cutting diameter. So I turned the bag sideways, and I have never shot through the bag sideways, and this blew straight through the bag, and then it actually poked Bo's finger because I guess I'm a bad dad. I went to snatch the arrow out and he had his finger there. So anyways,
Well, not a bad dad.
hang on, Bo.
Oh, is this on an accident?
It was just an accident, you're right. Man, I'm gonna tell you, those things are like deadly accurate. So all you guys that's been requesting this, because everybody knows I'm not a fixed blade guy, you're 110% right. I'll say it again, you're right, you're right. These things are super accurate, and they hit really hard. So I'm waiting on Bo right now. He's gonna go get the scissors. So I'm gonna go grab my tape measure. All right, guys, so one of the reasons that I wanted to do this video is because, unlike a lot of the other packs, the Magnus Stinger doesn't show on the pack the cutting diameter. So I was kind of interested to see what was going to happen. So we'll talk about how far the penetration is out of the back. 13 3/4. So just know, stop. So it's 13 3/4. Just know that I'm shooting at the side of the target, so I'm not surprised it was a little bit less. Obviously, there's a little bit, you know, more to hold on the side of the target. So the penetration test is great, like we expected. It did awesome. So let me see if I can get this thing out. So we're at right at 1.5 inches on the big blade side, and right at 1 inch on the small blade side. So 1.5 inches one way and 1 inch the other way. All right, for the guys that's never watched any of these before, what I do is I take a watermelon, I hollow out one side, and I embed a 3-inch block of ice inside of it. And then I leave the other side so we can track the wound channel. Tape it all together and I shoot it at 20 yards to see what the penetration is. And to see, really and truly, I'm seeing what the penetration is and seeing what the cut on impact is versus the cut on the backside. So, there's the front side of it, the hole on the inside. As you can tell, that notorious fixed blade, you can see daylight through it. It cuts a plug out of them whenever it goes through. The block of ice on this one is absolutely just shattered. I know we talk about the holes all the time, but look at that hole. It just took a complete chunk straight out of it. So there's no way to track the wound channel through the inside of this watermelon because it's just missing a hole. So that's saying something in itself. So we're gonna go ahead and measure this backside, which would simulate like the off side of the deer, so the backside. So we're actually, hang on. It's kind of hard to see the start and the end of this, but we're in between. We're right at that 1.5 inches again on the long side, and then about 3/4 of an inch on the short side. So the hole on the back side is a little bit smaller. I don't think it's anything but the way the arrow probably kicked after it went through the block of ice. So yeah, it did great. The back side, 1.5 inches. So the back side is going to be the same. So now we've done all that, let's talk about it. I'm going to eat a little crow in this video, and that's okay because we all got to do that at some point in time, right? So again, it is the 150 grain Magnus Stingers. These things are absolutely insane. We'll talk about the toughness first. If you can see the little blades, we did have one little blade on that back side over here bend. Not much, it is just a slight bend. Maybe you can see it more there, but it did bend just a little bit. That might be why we've seen the difference in the cut diameter on that back side. But as far as the main blade goes, it's still extremely true, extremely stout. And this back blade, you can actually take your finger and kind of push it back over. So durability, main blade did awesome. Side blades, not so much. They bent just a little bit. Accuracy, insanely accurate, guys. I don't know how the engineers can figure out how to take something that's that big and make it true at 50, but this thing shoots just like my field tip, that shoots just like my Raids, that shoots just like those G5 Montecs, that shot just like this Magnus Stinger. This is a bad little joker. Super accurate, tough. It held a group, and to my surprise, it actually didn't shoot a whole bunch different at 50 yards than my 100 grain broadhead did. There's probably only about a 4-inch difference. So yeah, there you have that. The penetration test, it had less penetration than some of the others. It's a 4-blade versus a 3-blade whenever it comes to fixed blade, so maybe that's part of it. It is bigger, so I'm sure that's part of it too, but I think if I remember right, we was at 13 3/4. And I would say it's probably from shooting at the side of the target instead of the middle of the target as well. But I had to start changing some stuff up because the target's getting a little beat up. So I try to give it as accurate of a guesstimation as I can, you know, versus the rest of them. So I did go ahead and shoot on the same side that we shot the G5s last week, and it's pretty similar. So for it to be such a big tip, that's awesome. So yeah. Accuracy, amazing. Straight out the package, don't have to tune anything, don't have to twist your knock, nothing. Put it straight on just like you did your fixed blades, or just like you did your mechanical blades, just like you did your field tips, and I would say out to 50 yards, you're gonna be great. The plus side is they're super tough, so if you wanted to send one downrange into a target, just to double check to make sure you have a warm fuzzy before you go into the woods, I think you're gonna be perfectly fine with that. It's gonna hold its sharpness, so I mean, you're good to go. Go ahead, take one out the pack and send it. I like them. I can tell you now, I'm gonna add one of these to my quiver. My quiver is like an assortment of stuff, but I'm fixing to replace the Schwacker. put this in there. I was gonna tell you what it is, right? So I've got a variety of NAP. I've got one of the G5s in there now. I've got my hypodermic in there, which everybody knows that's what I prefer to shoot. And now my 4th arrow will be toting this Magnus Stinger. Even though it's a little bit heavier arrow, 0 to 30, it's this much different, so it's perfectly fine. So if you are looking for a fixed blade, these guys that keep shouting about these on the page are 110% true. This is a bad Mamma Jamma. I'm gonna keep an eye out, see if I can find a 100 grain. Because if the 150s perform like this, then I want a 100 grain in my quiver that shoots like the rest of mine, and I don't have to, Kentucky windage it any. But yeah, super tough broadhead, super great broadhead, left a hell of a wound channel, and it's super accurate. What else could you ask for? So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, invite some friends. We're fixing to start doing some giveaways because it's getting close to rut here in Arkansas, and I get all excited about it, get all tuned up about the woods. So don't forget, also click that little bell up top. You never know, just like me, when you're going to end up running across a broadhead that you didn't know existed until everybody started talking about it. And for once, the hype was true. That's a bad little joker. The Magnus Stinger. Check it out, guys. We'll see y'all back here next week. Good hunting. Go get that one that you're after.